Alright guys, today we're going to be customizing these headlights. I want to get some new headlights, but first just kind of play around with these, take these apart, paint them up, try to make them look a little bit better, see if I can make them last a little longer. I'll take you along for the process. Well, here we are. First one's done. Came out pretty good. This is what it looked like. So what I did is painted all the inside with this night shades, just right over the chrome. This gives it a nice little shiny effect on the inside. I painted the orange amber on both sides, inside and out. And then behind the projector, I used some of this vivid luminescent blue and wrapped the light card just so you can see through the reflector. It doesn't block the light or anything, but just gives a little nice glow when you look through it. So I'm going to take the other one off and I'll kind of show you what I did with that one. Here we go. Alright, we got the other headlight out, got the heat gun, some screwdrivers, some gloves just to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Took off the two clips off the front of the headlight, and before we heat it up and separate it, you need to take off these two little Phillips or three little Phillips screws. There's one here at the end, one right here, and another one down in there. Let me take those off and I'll show you. Alright, so now that we got those three screws out of the back, I'm going to take your heat gun on low setting and start in the front. What I realized is it's a little easier to start around the front, just kind of heat up around, work your way, heat up the whole thing, and then you want to start just kind of gently prying from this front side up, because it's pretty deep into the corner here, so you want to kind of pull it up and out. So take your time, go around it, make sure you're circling the whole thing, don't sit in one spot too long. And the best thing is there's these little tabs here too, so you want to heat these up a little bit so you can pull these tabs. You don't want to break them, and you want to be pretty much heating up this black plastic underneath. That's where all the glue is sitting, so you don't really want to be heating up your lens. You want to just be heating up the black part all around the headlight, and then slowly start prying it up. So I'll start heating it up and I'll show you what it looks like when I start getting it loose. Well, here we are. We got the lens off. This is the all open inside. So what you have to do is you have to take off this little screw here. Then you can pull off that shield. There's a screw right down there. And behind that, there's a screw that you need to get to, take it off the turn signal. And these two shrouds come off separately, and I'll show you what that looks like. The other thing you want to do is take off this bezel. There's three screws right there. The bezel just pops out, and then you just want to pop the orange reflector out of the black bezel. And alright, now here we got the amber out of the bezel. The bezel out of the lens. So now you won't really be doing anything with the lens or the bezel if you want, but I'm going to leave mine gloss black. That's what I did in the other one. And now I'll just be taking the night shades and painting both sides inside and out, 2 or 3 coats on this. And like I said, I'm going to also take off those two shrouds and paint those as well. I'm going to start with this, put a coat on this, take off those two shrouds, and show you how that looks. Alright, now we got the turn signal bezel and the low beam bezel off. So I'm gonna personally leave the high beam bezel chrome, and the color card I'm gonna be doing is this piece of metal right back here behind the projector. So I'm gonna put a couple coats of paint on this, and I'll take that off and I'll show you what I did to mine. So first, you want to take off these 4 screws, pull the whole thing off, and then there'll be 3 screws to that on the back side. I'll show you what you do. Now with those 4 screws out, you should just be able to pull that right out, and it's going to be taking off those 3 screws to pull off the projector, and then you're going to either paint or wrap or do whatever you want to this to project that color through there. I'll show you what it looks like. And here you go, you just have the projector lens, the color card, and the actual light bulb. And like I said, this is the front of it. You just can paint that. I'm gonna wrap it in, like I said, the vinyl wrap, just to give it that little glow. I've seen people do it red, purple, blue. Gives it an extra little bit. It doesn't affect the lighting at all, and you only see it at certain angles. So I'll show you what it looks like all wrapped. Alright, so here is that. Nothing fancy, just wrapped it up. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, I saw people do red, purple, blue, all that kind of good stuff. So then now you just reassemble this. This goes back on top of that. The lens goes on top of that. Put it in. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so there it is, all installed. Looks pretty cool. So it doesn't really affect the light because it is cut out through there where the light comes through. It's just the reflection on the back side of the projector. The bezels are drying. I got one more coat to put on, and I'll show you what it looks like with the bezels on there. Alright, and here is the bezel with the old amber blacked out inside of it. Just pops right back in there. A little tab right there. A little tab underneath there. Just make sure the corner is in place. And that's it. That's that piece. And that piece just goes back in there with the 3 screws. I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, the 3 screws are back in. Over. That's what it looks like. I don't want to let the glue touch the ground, so I'll show you once I get the bezels back on here. Alright, here we are with the bezels on. Just nice shiny black. I did the tint because I was hoping it would kind of be like a chrome black, but you really won't even see it through the lens. They look pretty cool. I think that looks pretty good. So now, next step is pretty much what I do is go around, heat up the base of this, get the glue nice and warm and sticky. Go around this, get this pretty warm, and then just kind of flash the lens till the stringies kind of melt. Then just put it all together, start pressing it all together, sliding in the back and kind of laying down in the front. Then when it's together, just start heating it up and just pressing together, getting the clips down. Just work it back towards the front, how you pulled it off or how I pulled it off. All right. There we go. We have the lens on. So to heat up the base real good, you can see the glue kind of melt. And then it would be best if you had another person working with you, but it's me by myself. So heating everything up, like kind of just flash the lens, just kind of melt the glue till the fingers kind of fall off. Just push it all right down in there. And once it's kind of sitting in there, it almost goes right into place. Then you can just kind of heat it up little by little all the way around. Just kind of press it all in there. The glue dries pretty fast, so it doesn't take long. And then don't forget your 3 little screws right in the back, and it's all ready to go. All right, here we are. Finished product. Looks pretty awesome. Back down. Came out pretty nice.